Hey everybody, I've got the coolest thing to share with you, and Chippy and Sparky wanted to share in this too. Oh, I'm so glad you guys are here. Here's Sparky, here's a cookie. So I've never really come on to Chippy's channel before. Chippy's always the one doing the talking. But he's going to help me share this little story and what it has to do with this crazy cow toy. Yes. You know, sometimes we get signs from our pets when they are in spirit. And I don't want you guys to miss the signs, which is part of why I'm telling you this story, because our animals are amazing. They know so much more than anybody gives them credit for, right, Chippy? So you've probably seen Chippy pulling tarot cards, and he's going to do some for you in a little bit. But what happened was I was outside, and a butterfly, this big yellow butterfly, started fluttering all around. And, you know, butterflies do that. But this one was really unusual. And I'm going to tell you what it has to do with this toy in a second. Really weird. You know, I've had a lot of signs. You know, I'm a psychic medium, so I've had a lot of signs over the years of all sorts of things, you know, signs from deceased loved ones and things like that, but never had anything like this happen before. It's pretty incredible, right, Chippy? He's tuning in right now. You remember Tweedy, don't you? So this is this butterfly. It turned out to be my dog Tweedy, and the way I know that is it started fluttering all around the dogs and me, like uncharacteristically, you know, not like a normal butterfly. And it kept playing with my little puppy Archer. He's new. I wish he could come in and help tell the story, but he's a little too crazy to do it right now because he's just 8 months. So anyway, this butterfly kept fluttering around Archer, like playing with him, and Chippy too, and Sparky, but mostly Archer the whole time. And I couldn't figure out who it was at first because I lost Tweedy, my Border Collie, back in December of last year. Sadly, she was 14 years old. And she and I had spent a ton of time together. And Chippy loved her. You're getting sad talking about this, aren't you? I can feel it. You're getting sad. So, anyway, so this butterfly's fluttering all around, and then I literally asked, I was like, who is this, you know, and I heard psychically, as I hear things, it's Tweedy. And I went, oh, okay. So I was watching it, you know, and I might be the biggest skeptic out there, you guys. You know, I kind of test things a little bit. So it lit on a tree about 10 feet away from me. Now, one thing you need to know is that Tweedy and I did performance events together. We did freestyle dance and we did obedience trials. She was like a top winning dog in everything I ever put her in. And she loved it. The reason we did it was because she absolutely thrived on it. And of course, Border Collies need a job. They're very intelligent. They need you to do stuff with them, unlike some of these little couch potatoes. So Tweedy's, the butterfly at least, is sitting over 10 feet away from me, perched on the tree trunk. And I turned to it and I did something I've never tried before. And I looked at it and I said, Tweedy, come front, like that. And it just sat there and I thought, yeah, Tammy, you're crazy. And I was like, Tweedy, come front. I said it 2 or 3 more times. And that butterfly flew over and landed on the ground right at my feet. Yeah. And I'm going to show you a little clip of Archer doing the same thing the next day at his first obedience trial. And I do believe it was Tweedy passing the torch on to Archer. She did not know him in real life because I didn't get Archer until a few months after she had passed. And I wasn't really planning to get another puppy so soon, but this little puppy looks like a Border Collie, but he's a Pomeranian. And I just was so taken by him that I just total impulse decided to get him. And now I'm wondering if Tweedy lined this up. She knew how sad I was. So this butterfly did a come front and sit in front of me, which she had done thousands of times probably over the course of her 14 years. And it was one of her favorite things because when she would come and sit front, I would spit a cookie out of my mouth at her, a piece of cheese, you know. I know, dog people, right? If you know, you know. So that was pretty amazing. And when that happened, I just burst out in tears, guys. I was like, okay, this is such a sign. That's such a sign. So then this little butterfly starts, you know, fluttering around some more, again, playing with Archer constantly, like really having him chase her around and stuff. And at this point, I was like, This is totally Tweedy spirit, you know. So then it goes over, this is where the cow toy comes in, guys. Hang in there with me. So then I look over and this butterfly comes over and lights right on this little cow toy, which was laying out in the yard at the time because my dogs play with this a lot. Well, then I realized, yeah, for sure this is Tweedy. She was giving me another sign. I mean, of all the things around in the yard that she could have lit on, she chose this cow toy. I guess we switched dogs on this story. So one of the things that happens at performance events is the dogs that win often get toys. And Tweedy won a lot, so she won a lot of toys, and she was always expecting a new toy, you know, at the trials. And so one of her, well, not even one of her absolute favorite toy was a cow. It was a pink cow because her favorite color was pink. And I know people say dogs can't see in color, but I'm here to tell you Tweedy did. She would always pick her own toys out of a basket. They'd bring a basket around at this one certain event that we liked the best. And they would hold it down and let her choose her own toy. And she would always go through and look for the pink toy. So she had gotten herself a pink cow. And she was so proud of this cow, and she played with it her entire life. She won it early on in her career. And then she played with it, and I was like, this is her telling me, because we used to always laugh about, you know, I would say to her, you know, Tweedy, you know, where's your cow? And she would go and get it. Here's the cow. So that was another thing, just that in itself. But then I went over very slowly and I knelt down, and the little butterfly stayed on the cow. It's like sitting right here on its shoulders. And the dogs were around, and I leaned down and I very gently put my hand down, and I was like, here, Tweedy. And I'm not kidding you guys. I'm not making this up. I'm not exaggerating. This little butterfly hopped into my hand, onto my fingers. And it was amazing. At this point, I was holding Archer because I didn't want him to scare it, you know, away or bite it because he really went to play with this butterfly. So I had this little butterfly in my hand, right? And I'm talking to it. And it sat there for the longest time. I was able to walk around with it. I mean, it just stayed in my hand. I mean, when does that happen? It was the most unusual thing. I mean, this went on for a long time. This was like a whole 15-minute thing with this butterfly. So anyway, it would have stayed there all day. I probably could have brought it in the house, except little Archer, my puppy, at one point decided to boink it. And he boinked it with his nose, and then it fluttered up and it got really hyper. And Tweedy, my Border Collie, was a very hyper dog. So it got really hyper and it started flying all over the place, and it would come down and it would boink one of the dogs on the head and it would fly off. But it kept coming to Archer, you know, like, catch me if you can. It was so cute. Now, something else you need to know about signs is I mean, I know butterflies and feathers, you know, are big signs from deceased spirit. But here's the funny thing. Tweedy was so friendly. So friendly, she had a hard time calming herself down when I would take her to these events. And she would mess up because she'd get too friendly. Like, instead of doing her sit-stay or whatever, she would go and visit the judge, you know, or she'd go up and hug the judge. She's done that before, too. So my daughter, who is a counselor, had said to Tweedy, you know, she would sit and talk to Tweedy before these events. And she came up with this thing, and she would tell Tweedy, Tweedy, be a tree, not a butterfly. And it was our thing. It became our joke, you know, our little insider joke, that after events I would call my daughter and I would say, like, Tweedy was a butterfly today, or I would say Tweedy was a tree today. You know, like, became this thing. But she really wanted to be the butterfly and play with her cow. You know, that was her thing. That was her personality. So that was another sign. Now there was one more sign, guys, and I didn't think about it at the time, but I thought about it later. A day before this happened, I was sitting in the house, so sitting near the window so I could hear, you know, what was going on. And all of a sudden, I heard her bark. And I'm not kidding, she had a very distinct bark. And I literally heard her bark, like, to get my attention. And I looked out the window, and my other dog's just sleeping in the yard. I mean, it could have been Sparky because he's a Border Collie and maybe they sound similar, but literally, come here, Sparky. But literally, Sparky, like, almost never barks. do you? I mean, he's like the quietest dog, and Border Collies aren't really big barkers anyway, and he just never barks. But Tweedy was, her butterfly self. She was very talkative, and it was her bark. So I heard that, and then the butterfly, and then the cow. All these signs were there, and I just wanted to share with you this because you'll get signs. When your pet is crossed over to the other side, they often come back, and you might hear them bark, you might hear them meow, you might hear them chirp, whatever they do. You might feel them brush against your leg when you're sitting watching TV, or sit on your lap, or all kinds of signs. You might feel them panting in your ear when you're driving in the car. They stay around us. Timing is a big deal with these signs, and they'll tend to show up on important dates, or around people's birthdays. And Chippy and Sparky are, here on Chippy's channel, are having birthdays this week. And Chippy has turned 9, and Sparky, actually today is his birthday, and Sparky turned 8 today. And I feel like Tweedy was acknowledging that, but also, this dog was so smart. I think that she knew 2 things were coming up, because she showed up the day before Archer's first obedience trial, which he thinks is a big game and a bunch of tricks, right? Because I clicker train him. And Tweedy too. All of my dogs are, we do a lot of play training and fun stuff, So I think she showed up to acknowledge that, to kind of pass the torch to him. But also, I think she knew or heard me maybe saying that I was going to be offering free pet readings for Sparky and Chippy's birthday. So I'm doing this Saturday, and I had not planned this when I saw her. It's like she knew, like the timing was really weird. So anyway, I am offering free pet readings to Chippy's Cookie Club members. I have 3 different levels on his membership program. So if you're a member, you can get a free pet reading this Saturday, August 29th. You can send it ahead of time. There's some details below. I'm not here to do a sales pitch, but I think it's an interesting thing. I'd already talked about this a week ago, and then Tweedy showed up like, hey, I know. I know what you're going to do. Let me give you a sign. So it's really, really sweet that she did that. And I just want to tell you, look for the signs, they'll leave us signs. Unusual things will happen. I mean, I'm not saying just any butterfly that happens to fly by in a distance is a sign. I'm saying birds or butterflies that act unusual, that come close to you, that hop onto your hand, that blink your dog on the nose, or you. One day I was at this festival, and this woman was standing there talking to me, and she's really sad. She was really, really sad. And she just all of a sudden opened up to me, total stranger, opened up to me and was telling me how her sister had just died. And at that very moment, this butterfly comes out of nowhere and sits on her shoulder. And I'm like watching it. She didn't notice it. She's going on talking about her grief. She's very, very sad. And I said, maybe your sister is going to give you a sign. And she said, yeah, I haven't seen any signs. I said, look on your shoulder. And she looked down and saw the butterfly on her shoulder and said, oh yeah, it's a butterfly. And I thought, wow, it's so sad. She's in all this grief and she's missing it. People miss the signs. And I said to her, maybe that's a sign there on your shoulder, that butterfly from your sister. And she was like, I guess. And it was sad. I was trying to gently point that out to her, but I want to point it out to you guys. Don't miss the signs. It's really important. They really do try to give us signs, So anyway, I'm going to pick up some signs for you. If you want me to do a short pet reading for you on August 29th, this Saturday, you can send me an email of your pet. If you're a Cookie Club member, make sure you're a Cookie Club member. And the funny thing, I didn't even know YouTube was going to do this. I tell you, Spirit just works in the most mysterious ways. After I'd already announced this, then I find out YouTube is offering a free trial membership. I almost forgot to tell you. So right now on Chippy's channel, you can get a free membership for a month before it charges you. And you can also, if you do that, you can also get a free pet reading from me. Okay. And I've done readings for years. You may or may not have noticed or been to my main channel, which is Spot On Psychic Readings by Tammy, so you can check that out. But anyway, like I said, I'm not trying to make this a sales pitch. I just wanted to share this beautiful butterfly and cow story and invite you to come to Chippy and Sparky's birthday bash. They're over here sleeping now. So come to their birthday bash and we're going to have a lot of fun. And some people have sent them presents. It touches me so much it almost makes me cry. There is a wish list I made up because people had asked, can we send, Chippy and Sparky some cookies or something? So there is a wish list if you're interested. But again, I am not here doing a sales pitch. I just wanted to tell you the story about my dog, Tweedy. She was really special. Anyway, I really appreciate all of you pet lovers being here and all of your support of Chippy and Sparky and Zorro. Zorro will be at the birthday bash also, and little Archer, my Pomeranian I was talking about. So thanks for joining Chippy and Company today, and it was nice to meet all of you. If you haven't met me before on my channel, like I said, usually only you'll see Chippy's face here, so it's a little different, but anyway, I hope this helps you connect with your beautiful pets. Okay, have a good one.